I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of Haunted America.
This week, we're going to the northeastern part of America.
More specifically, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, to visit quite the haunted house.
So let's get right into it. This is the haunted Hill View Manor on Haunted America.
Before we get into this episode, I have to tell you guys about today's sponsor, Paranormal Oddities and Venue. This shop is located in Depew, New York, and is a one-stop shop for all things spiritual and paranormal. We personally love this store, and the owner is just an amazing human with a ton of experience in our field. Check out their Facebook page linked below if you'd like to know more about Paranormal Oddities and Venue. A small store with a big heart. Now, let's get into the episode.
The facility, once known as the Lawrence County Home for the Aged, opened its doors for the first time on Tuesday, October 19th in 1926. Along with being called the Home for the Aged, it was also referred to as a poorhouse or a poor farm, and it housed the county's mentally ill and unfit with no family to provide the appropriate care.
The day it opened its doors, Mr. Perry Snyder and his wife Mary, along with their 2 children, took up residence in the Lawrence County Home for the Aged. Joining them would be around 12 staff members and the first 20 inmates. These inmates and staff were transferred from the old county home. Among the 20 transferred was a young boy, even though the home generally did not take in children.
Come June of 1944, the Snyders, now in their late 70s at the time, were accused of being unable to maintain the home. A hearing soon followed, and the Snyders were forced into retirement with pensions, but for the time being were permitted to stay at the home. But by the time August came around, they were given 3 weeks to vacate the home.
This would end the Snyders' 30-plus years of service to their community. A man by the name of Mance Hogue, who was the longtime director of welfare department, took over everyday operations of the home. The home continued serving the community for many years, and come the 1960s, it was remodeled and changed slowly into a nursing center.
In December of 1974, the county decided to add a new section to the home. This section is now known as the North Wing. Along with this new section, the house also underwent heavy remodeling to some of the already existing floors. They would go on to build a new 3-story addition, including an additional basement floor. This allowed the house to hold another 30 residents. This North Wing opened in mid-1977.
With all these upgrades happening at the Lawrence County Home for the Aged, it was decided by the county to actually have a contest to rename the building to something more suitable for the times. It was officially renamed to the Hill View Manor on March 22nd of 1977. Hill View Manor closed its operational doors in 2004 due to financial reasons, just like many of the same operations have in the past.
The Hill View Manor is now privately owned and open to all sorts of property tours and paranormal investigations, both public and private. They also turned the manor into an even more spooky attraction in the fall, Scare Manor. So you can get scared by both that of the living and that of the dead at the same time. What a wonderful combination.
So let's hop right into why this place is still such a hot spot for paranormal investigators. From what we could find, it's said that thousands of people lived in the manor in its 78 years of full operation. You guys ready for this astronomical number? It's believed that over 10,000 people perished on the property. Suicides were not uncommon here. It's believed that a number of people that did commit suicide did so by jumping to their deaths from the roof of the building. and many of the people who perished here were also buried in the on-site cemetery, usually in unmarked graves.
The spirits that remain here seem very eager to speak when investigations take place in the manor. So let's get into a few of the notable hauntings at the Hill View Manor. It's said that the boiler room is home to the spirit of a man who died from a combination of blood poisoning and hypothermia after a night of drinking out in the elements. It's often women who report about this spirit. They often say that they have been grabbed by something or someone when they're in the room where this man passed.
Remember that little boy I mentioned earlier, the one that the home took in with the first set of residents? It's said that the spirit of this boy roams the halls of the manor now, and it's believed that the boy's name is Jeffrey. His spirit has been seen commonly just roaming about the halls of the manor. There's a tad bit of folklore as well with this spirit of young Jeffrey. It's said that if you encounter his spirit in the halls, you would die yourself soon after. Although there have been no actual deaths attributed to this folklore, it's still kind of creepy to think about.
If you still want some more paranormal interaction, you can head yourself towards room 105 to encounter a former patient named Mary Virginia. It's said that the spirit of Mary is one of the most active in the manor. Most commonly, investigators catch a lot of voices on EVP sessions, unaccounted for footsteps, and even music in this room.
Now, something I've been waiting to get into, and I'm so grateful for people that sent in questions. So without further ado, let me get back to my script. Now, let's get into some questions that have been asked by some of you on our socials. If you have any questions that you'd like to have answered on the show, or if you have a haunted location you'd like for us to talk about, DM us on Facebook, Instagram, or on our TikTok pages at Haunted America, or just shoot us an email at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com.
This first question is from Ryan. He asks, where are we located? And if we have personally been to any of these locations that we're talking about.
We're located in the Buffalo, New York region.
Yeah, between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. And, yeah, we've been to a lot of places around here.
But none really that we've talked about so far.
I mean, Rolling Hills, obviously.
We did do an episode about Rolling Hills. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hinsdale.
Haven't done an episode about Hinsdale yet. But that is coming up in season 2, so don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The White Inn, the Kelly Hotel.
Yeah, but the question is if we've been to any locations we're talking about.
Oh.
So that would be no, except for Rolling Hills.
Okay,
and
yeah,
a few
no.
of the ones that we're going to be talking about in season 2 later on. Our last question comes from Mark in Eugene, Oregon. Complete opposite part of the USA to us. He asks what the most haunted locations we have ever investigated is.
Hinsdale. Yeah, Hinsdale for me.
Hinsdale House is located in Hinsdale, New York, for the people that might not know what the Hinsdale House is. And I wouldn't bother going and looking into the house because we will be doing an episode real soon. So if you want the information, subscribe, follow, whatever it is that you guys have to do, because we'll be doing an episode on that real soon. For me personally, most haunted location I've ever investigated is probably nowhere, because I've done some investigations, but none at some really big places yet. All of my big haunted locations are still to come.
A lot of your investigations are right at home because the spirits like to come to you.
Yeah, literally right at home. I've made teachers cry, all that kind of stuff.
And I mean, I've been to investigations in this area where my wife got possessed and we had to take her off the grounds. I believe that was at the White Inn. So that was pretty pretty good, but
Ooh.
hands down, Hinsdale is definitely the most haunted.
I'm going to change
that I've
my
been
answer.
to.
My most haunted location I've ever investigated is our old apartment on Bryant Street.
Really?
In North Tonawanda, mostly because there was most definitely something evilish, demonish, whatever, just not a normal nice entity in the basement. And my buddy Andrew got possessed in
my
the
God.
living room of that apartment.
Yes, he did.
And we literally had to hold him down and go through that whole freaking cycle, which was absolutely asinine and insane. So I'm going to go that right here at home. You know, we haven't really traveled out of state yet to investigate any of these places, even though we really want to. It's just the same with everybody. Money is a problem.
Yeah.
So
I've been to a lot of the local places, and we've done so many investigations at our own houses. But yeah.
alrighty, guys. That's going to do it for us. So thank you for joining us for another episode. If you'd like to know more about Hill View Manor, check below for a link to their website. And while you're at it, check out Paranormal Oddities and Venue.
See you next time for another episode of Haunted America.